Oh, and I can protect my king as well while getting a little search out. Man, these cards are annoying. Completely forgot. I mean, shoo! I remembered I had that in my hand. What do you guys mean I don't remember? Bro, do you guys really think that I would make such a severe misplay? I would never. No, I would never make a misplay in my life, especially not while recording a little video for you guys. You guys think I would just lose like that? Nah. This is awkward. Hello YouTube, Rojas here. Today is going to be a quick intro because I already spent a lot of time on this deck profile and on this deck because it is a 60 card deck and I intend to babble too long, so hopefully this video doesn't end up being too long. I'm going to try to cut it down as much as possible. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Let me know what you think about the video. Drop a like and subscribe if you'd like to, because again, it always means the world. And shout out to my dog who just had surgery. She just got fixed, so she has been sad and mopey and is recovering with the cone of shame. Hopefully you guys enjoy the deck profile. Alright, let's kick off this recording. I'm going to try to go a little fast so I don't waste too much time. We're starting off with 3 copies of Skull Servant. This is just a classic card. It's a staple in Skull Servant's deck because you will be sending it off of other card effects to the graveyard. 3 copies of King of the Skull Servants. This is your main boss monster. This card is going to be a massive beater that's going to allow you to consistently beat your opponent on your first turn for over 10,000 attack, especially in a grass deck. 3 copies of White Mare. White Mare is insanely powerful, and I see a lot of lists cut this down, but it's just really strong to have the access to get the protection of 80 and white, and not only that, it also is very easy access to link climbing. You're almost always going to be using the special summon Lady in White effect. 3 copies of White Prince. White Prince is very abusable because it is not a once per turn effect. Not only that, it lets you special summon your King of the Skull Servants from the graveyard, which is very, very powerful. Don't fall into the trap though when you are banishing cards to banish 1 Lady in White and 1 just Skull Servant. Typically you want to banish 2 Lady in White so you could keep bringing them back with the other effects, or bring back a card that you want to special summon off the effect of something like Levier the Ski Dragon. 3 copies of White Baking. White Baking really is the card that has revitalized this deck. This is the newest support card, and man is it good. It basically just allows you to search 2 cards from your deck and then discard 1, and if that's not a good effect, I don't know what is, because it really allows you to fix your hand. You don't need to actually even discard one of the cards you search, so it's like a pseudo graceful charity, but you need to search Skull Servants cards, although you don't need to discard one, and it's what gives this deck a lot of synergies with other engines, even though we're running mostly pure Skull Servants. 3 copies of Maxi. Maxi, again, just being the best hand trap in the game. You're probably going to be running this in every single list ever. 3 copies of Nemesis Flag. Now, Nemesis Flag is really easy to use in this deck because you are banishing a lot, and you are banishing very easily and consistently, but the main appeal of Nemesis Flag is that it is going to search out the Nemesis corridor. The reason we run this at 3 though is because again it just allows us access to link climbing. A Lady in White, insanely powerful link climbing tool, and again just offering you protection in a lot of board states. 3 copies of Unizombie. Unizombie, just a very good generic zombie support card, which is going to give you access to easy starters from your deck. Not only that, the effect to discard from hand actually comes out a lot in this deck as well. 3 copies of White Princess. White Princess is one of those cards that maybe I would cut down if I want to run more hand traps, but again, just getting that consistency is very strong, because especially when you're running a grass deck, you can tend to be a little more bricky than you would like to, and although this deck isn't very bricky, it does need to have multiple starters in hand since it's a blinding second list, and you don't want to just lose to a single negate or a single hand trap. So White Princess is a very convenient one, because even if she's special summoned out of the field, and again multiple times returned, her effect will go off to send the prince to the graveyard. Then we're running 2 copies of Ash Blossom. This really hurts me, especially in a 60 card list, to run the rogue hand trap lineup with a 2-2-2 ratio on hand traps, but again, Skull Servants is very much a rogue deck, so I think cutting Ash Blossom down to 2 just to have that consistency is kind of okay, even though it kind of sucks to not consistently see a hand trap in your opening hand. This deck just really needs multiple extenders to do anything. Then 1 copy of the Nemesis Umbrella. Again, this is just to extend the link climbing. This is typically you'll only be searching this if you happen to open multiple of the Nemesises, which is why it's only at 1, but it is nice to have a different name if you really need to go for those big Axexos plates to finish off the game, while its effect is weaker than the others. 2 copies of Mizuki, again, an insanely powerful tool, but again, ends up being a little bit bricky in your hand, so it's just going to be at 2 copies, but a special summon from graveyard nonetheless. 3 copies of Shiranui Solitaire, just lets you tribute itself for Unizombie. This is actually only at 2 copies, because again, this is very vulnerable to hand traps, and while your other cards leave a card on the field for you to link climb in case you need to save yourself, Shiranui Solitaire tributing itself is really harmful. The 1 copy of Snow, again, the whole philosophy with this deck is we don't really want to brick on the cards, but they are very powerful graveyard synergy effects. 3 copies of Gozuki. This is a second Unizombie in the deck, and Gozuki is just a very, very powerful starter, especially because once you lick it off, you can special summon from hand. This card probably ends up being better than Unizombie a lot of times in a lot of hands, because it really just allows you to play through certain things you shouldn't be able to play to. 2 copies of Nemesis Corridor. This is the reason we're running the Nemesis package, this allows us to turbo out a Thunder Dragon Colossus very easily with this deck, and it will have 1 protection card, so it just makes our end boards a lot stronger. The reason it's at 2 is because it is searchable, and the Nemesis flag tends to be better in your opening hand because it allows you to go into more link climbing plays. 1 copies of Monster Reborns abuse those non-once per turn effects like White Prince and White Princess and things of the like. And when your whole strategy is sending everything to the graveyard, Monster Reborn is almost always going to be live. 1 copy of Foolish Burial Goods, one of the best generic spell card extenders, doesn't really cost you anything. 1 for 1, again, discarding is a complete benefit of this deck, so being able to get out a good card and discard a card is very powerful. 3 copies of Grass is the reason we're playing 60. This card is absolutely insane. Honestly, if the deck started abusing this more, I would absolutely hate this card, but as it is, nobody's really taking too much advantage of this, so Grass is legal at 3, so have fun with it while it's legal at 3, because this is never coming back in the TCG. 3 copies of Lightning Storm, again, being a blinding second deck, we need those ways to break boards, so Lightning Storm is always going to be one of those most powerful tools, and everybody should own at least 1 copy because of the bundles. 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. Originally, this was Pot of Extravagance, but Pot of Prosperity allows you to run a more refined extra deck that's a lot more specific. Not only that, it really allows us to search for the power cards, and this deck needs its power cards, be it a Nemesis flag to extend, just having an opener like Unizombie, or getting out, obviously, being able to hit the grass with more consistency is really, really good. 3 copies of Forbidden Droplets, again, blinding second list. This is one of the best going second tools. You don't really need to have that many hand traps if you have a way to break boards, and being able to discard basically your entire hand and not feel bad about it because they all have graveyard effects is really, really good in this deck, so Forbidden Droplets is an absolutely essential tool. Then 2 copies of the Infinite Impermanence, again, just to round up that hand trap lineup. This could be another extender, maybe even Nibiru's, but currently Infinite Impermanence just seems a little better because it's a lot more generic. Then moving on to the extra deck. Now, the extra deck is actually insanely important in this deck, and you really need a lot of practice getting used to using the extra deck because most of the time your main monster plays will get stopped, but being able to extend through your extra deck means that your Skull Servant engine is still able to OTK in that turn. So first of all, we have the Colossus. This is in case we're made to go first. This is one of the strongest going first cards like ever because it protects itself, and it just stops so many strategies like Drytron can't play through this. 1 copy of Zeta, just a really generic good Synchro 7 because Unizombie allows us to climb into Synchros really easily. 1 copy of Chaos Ruler. Chaos Ruler is just absolutely insane. Sending a bunch of cards to the graveyard and searching one, I mean, Chaos Ruler is kind of a dumb card, and it comes back to the field every turn. I don't like this card, but hey, it's good in this deck. 1 copy of Lyrisk Assembled Nightingale. This is just a direct attack in case you need to make Zeus. 1 copy of Levier the Sea Dragon, just a really good way to bring back your banished cards, and a lot of times you get a loop cards like White Prince with this card and just get really strong effects. Number 26, Octo Bypass. Now, this is probably one of the most underrated Skull Servant cards that I really see slept on by a lot of deck lists, but this is just absolutely insane because there's a lot of times where you get stunned to the point where you're not able to bring out that many cards, but again, because of how easy it is to use cards like Whitemare, you'll easily be able to make at least 1 XZ play and bring out a king. So if you just manage to make an 8,000 attack king, which again in a grass deck is really, really easy, you could attack for a game assuming your opponent doesn't have a way to stop that because it will be your only attack in the turn. And again, battle protection isn't really something that a lot of decks run, so it's a really easy way to get a lot of cheeky wins, and it comes up actually really, really often. Then it's going to be 1 copy of Downer Magician, again just to stack on top of the Leer list so you can make more materials on Zeus. 1 copy of Zeus because it's one of the best going second tools in the game, and this is a blinding second list. 1 copy of Link Karibo. This is in case you just draw a bricky hand, you could always normal summon and link off in a Link Karibo. It could be Relinquish Anima as well if you like, but I think Link Karibo has a bit more versatility because it is able to special summon itself from the graveyard. 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix along with a 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn, just really good generic removal. Not only that, allows you to discard a card from hand. 1 copy of Avenged Savior, really easy to make because you run a lot of zombies, and again, able to send those powerful cards in case you don't have the most optimal hand. You can easily, a lot of times I have situations where I get a king out in the field and 2 subpar monsters that I can't really synchro climb or do anything special with, so I just make them into Avenged, and all of a sudden it becomes a really, really good board. Also, your opponent's typically going to have to remove this without battles, spending some sort of card effect on it. 1 copy of IP, just a really good generic link 2 that offers protection when you link off with it, and again, you end on a lot of random stuff on your board, so making IP is pretty simple and it gives you the versatility. Unicorn's a good climb target from IP. 1 copy of Apollosa because again, we just pump out monsters, especially with the Nemesis package, so Apollosa is a good going first card if we're ever forced to. And Access Code being one of the best ball sponsors for just finishing games. Again, obviously, if you're going second Unga Bunga deck, Access Code is just going to be completely invaluable. Anyways, that has been the card by card. Hopefully that wasn't too long because it's a very long deck profile, so I'm going to quit my chattering and I'm going to get right into the gameplay. Try to keep this card video under 15 minutes. Go! Okay, so I actually managed to lose the coin flip with this deck, which is typically kind of good because they'll usually make you go second, but for God knows what reason, my opponent really decided that I was going to go first, so that's a bit bizarre. Sadly, you never want to see Lady in White or Skull Servant in your opening hand. That's kind of donkey, but at the end, it doesn't really matter. Again, going first, I don't think I'm going to be really using the Zeus package, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Just getting rid of a couple cards here or there, you know how it is. Hopefully we find something good. I can't actually see what I'm excavating because my camera covers up the place where my deck is, so hopefully it looks like it's good cards. It looks like my opponent does not have an Ash Blossom. These cards are okay. I will be taking the Unizombie. I really wish there were more archetype-specific Unizombies instead of every deck having to use this card, but hey, beggars can't be choosers, right? So I'm going to go ahead and discard from the deck here. Sending the white, baking, getting myself a little graceful charity effect, because, you know, you love to see graceful charity, so always grabbing the white mare. White mare is just insane. Typically, I wouldn't grab a second copy of Prince, because I already have one in hand to discard, but, you know, Unizombie's got a second effect, so, I mean, I might as well treat myself today and get a little bit of extra advantage. Oh, not really advantage, but buff up my king and getting my engine going. So, all's good here. I'm assuming my opponent's some sort of Numeron or Kaiju strategy, but again, I'm not really tripping about that. So let's go ahead and send a few extra cards to the graveyard. I don't know what my opponent's name is, but I don't think they're going to be in for a pleasant time when they see the absolute insane board I get set up. Sadly, Nemesis Umbrella is the only one that doesn't allow us access into Colossus, so it really is a bit of a bummer to see this be the card in my hand, because again, any other Nemesis monster would have 100% been Colossus. I'm just going to go ahead and banish 2 Lady in Waits here, just in case I need to bring them back off of any shenanigans. And that's going to give me easy access to a king who's already at a monstrous attack stat. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and use a little effect to bring back my Lady in White. This actually isn't even a deck that I really like playing that much, and this is going to allow me to make a Chaos Ruler, which again is just an insanely powerful synchro and extender tool. This isn't really a deck that I've ever been like super in love or fond of, but one of my close friends really likes this deck, and considering that they're a monkey who can't really play Yu-Gi-Oh! And considering that they've never been the absolute best at Yu-Gi-Oh! I've spent so much countless time. Ooh, I can't take the Corridor though because of its typing. Man, Corridor would have been so good. I will be taking Baking because Baking has a hand protection effect, and this will just allow Prince to resolve as well. So why not, right? It's a shame though that. Oh wait. This is insane, because now, little fun fact about getting that Chaos Ruler effect off, this means that Nemesis Umbrella is now live. I will be putting the Prince back for obvious reasons. And this is going to go ahead and grab out a little one of the Thunder Corridor creature. Now, this is going to be a lot more fun for me now that we have this in our hand. I was a little sad about not being able to make Colossus. You know how it is, as anybody would be when they're not allowed to make one of the most broken cards ever printed. But hey, things change for a reason, right? I'm going to go ahead and put Colossus down in the corner because I just absolutely don't trust this game in the slightest. And since Chaos Ruler does have an effect to bring itself back, because of course it does, I'm going to go ahead and just end off on an IP here instead, being sure to not block off any of my link zones. And hey, would you look at that? I don't think this game's going to last that much longer. I can go ahead and bring a second Prince out, which might actually be really, really relevant because it gives me an extra target for IP. Again, even if they have the Lightning Storm, something like that is going to be difficult, and they can't search cards, so Numeron's going to have a much harder time unless they drew specifically the card. And even then, IP just spin the Numeron network back during the battle phase, and hey, what they gonna do? Ooh, Despia! Was not expecting that. I probably should have expected that, but I wasn't expecting that. Alright, branded... Alright, Despia. I'm expecting a lot of Dogmatico cards, a lot of Albaz cards, and a lot of Super Poly effects. So if I'm probably going to be saving the IP for the Verte, because I don't really want to get Super Poly. This is actually a deck that's not a card I was expecting to see. This is a deck I've been messing around a lot with recently, and I want to make a video on it, so let me know if any of y'all are interested in seeing this new Despia list on the channel. But in the meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and just cook it instead. It's Dark Lord, it's Despia, weird. Oh, this is actually really, really common. I've been messing around with Shadows instead, I like that more. So this fusion spell actually has more interesting effects, which makes it annoying when you remove their monsters. They always gotta be on the lookout. Ooh, triple fusion instead of making the good one? That's weird. It looks like I will... Ooh, this can't be targeted. Oh no, I'm in danger. Okay, alright, so I can't target this, which is very awkward. This should be pretty easy to out with this deck, to be honest. Luckily, my Colossus does stay on field, which is a huge annoyance for my opponent. Oh, whatever I would have made would have been protected, but again, I don't have that many cards on the field. I probably should have gotten out the fourth card, but hey, whatever. Man, they had a good hand. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and protect Colossus so my opponent can't search during the first main phase. Just make this really annoying for them. Oh, and I can protect my king as well while getting a little search out. Man, these cards are annoying. Completely forgot. I mean, shoo! I remembered I had that in my hand. What do you guys mean I don't remember? Bro, do you guys really think that I would make such a severe misplay? I would never. I'm gonna go ahead and use this as an option to send that Mizuki real quick before I completely forget about that. No, I would never make a misplay in my life, especially not while recording a little video for you guys. You guys think I would just lose like that? Nah. This is awkward. White baking protection effect. It was all part of my huge brain strategy. Battle phase. Hey, good luck, King of Games. Get over King of the Skull Servants. That wasn't really a joke on purpose, but hey. Oh, what? Is that it? Oh, oh, no, you can't say. Oh, did you give up? Oh, no. Oh, that's, bro, that's sad. Bro. Okay, so it looks like I'll be starting off with Mizuki effect here. I just really want to make sure I can finish off my opponent. You guys know how it is. I do have another copy of Baking in the deck, so it does look like Unizombie is going to be the absolute best. Okay, so my opponent is going to be special summoning a fairy, so I really just want to be extra safe when I do this. I'm not trying to throw here. I mean, I'm always trying to throw mildly, but, like, not that hard. Please! So I am going to go ahead. So I will be sending that, and this is going to be a huge link climb. So hopefully my opponent lets me play this fast. I don't know what fairy monster I'd be scared of to come out that would just, like, ruin my day. But hey, I've played Yu-Gi-Oh! Long enough to know that's always a possibility. Alright, later, princess. I kind of need a light in the graveyard. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and bring back the Chaos Ruler here. Just banishing the princess, and then banishing really anything of my choice. I didn't even know I could banish cards from hand. Ain't that dandy? Hopefully I have a non-Skull Servant to banish. I mean, I guess IP is a non-Skull Servant to banish. All I'm gonna say is the access code's about to clean house. I'm doing all this nonsense not just for BM. I do need to remove this Theater of the Branded just to avoid any shenanigans. And I don't know what they have in hand that they're constantly, like, maybe responding with, so I'm not trying to throw. Yeah, he's gonna negate King here. Kind of forgot that was a thing. Oh, Colossus. What? So I will be banishing now, and I will be banishing my Lady in White. Hopefully my opponent is confused out the wazoo, because I know I constantly am. And again, things are looking a little desperate for my opponent. Ain't gonna lie, things ain't looking too good for them. Now, I'm not gonna say that without a certainty of, without any doubt that my opponent is about to get cooked here to next year, but I don't think things are looking too good for my opponent, not gonna lie. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that just to get rid of it, honestly. So I'm gonna go ahead and make Unicorn here, because again, this is all an elaborate way to climb to my access code talker. And I'm not gonna use its effect, because again, there's not really a need here. Now, White Mare is gonna be annoying, not only buffing my attack, but getting me a couple of protection effects. Sadly, only one of them is really going to be staying on the field for the long con. So, yeah, I hate to tell ya guys, but I think this game's over. I will be keeping one on the field just to make sure my kings are protected, because again, I don't trust this game for nothing anymore at this point, because I have gotten absolutely destroyed one too many times playing this game by making small misplays. Dang, I ran out that timer. Sheesh, feel bad for my opponent, but not too bad. I did use Unizombie's effect, so I am locked into only zombie monsters attacking. Thing is, when you have two 12,000 attack King of the Skull Servants, I don't think that really matters. Not gonna lie to you. So I actually don't have that many pops because, again, these are mostly darks in the graveyard. So I'm only gonna be removing the fusion spell here because I don't really want to lose to that. And that's game for you. Hopefully that was an enjoyable experience. Skull Servants, a little bit annoying, a lot of bit of fun. It turns out I didn't need all that nonsense. Hey, shout out to my opponent for being a good sport, letting me show this off. This video is going to be horrendously long, so I'm going to wrap it up right here. No more outro talk. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know what you want to watch next. And I should have a Despia video coming out soon. Thank you for watching. This has been Rojas, signing out.